Here's 5 dark facts about Hurricane Dorian. Alright, number 1, Hurricane Dorian became one of the strongest hurricanes to ever make landfall in the Atlantic with sustained winds of 185 miles per hour. Tying it with the 1935 Labor Day hurricane that hit the Keys, and I did a video on that, which was pretty crazy as well. And they estimated that some of the wind gusts made it up to 220 miles per hour. I mean, look at that thing, it's an absolute beast. And I feel like it's one of the forgotten hurricanes because we just had so many at this point, but Hurricane Milton was also up there. But it luckily downgraded before it made landfall. On September 1st, 2019, it made landfall on Elbow Cay in the Abaco Islands of the Bahamas, and then several hours later, it made a second landfall on Grand Bahama Island, which is one of the most populated islands in the Bahamas, and it ended up stalling over it for 24 hours. It literally slowed down to 1 mile per hour as it moved across the island, which is like worst case scenario for them. So it basically just sat there, and the storm surge made it up to 23 feet high in certain areas. There's people in the second story of their house filming as the water is rising up their stairs. Like, they're already on an island, but at this point with the storm surge being that high, it's basically like just being in the middle of the ocean during a hurricane. Here's a couple clips that were pretty crazy.
Now I'm on the other side of the house. Our garage door has already come off and it's floating in this very high water.
At that point, it's only like 8 feet deep, so it still gets higher after that.
Which would be about 8 feet right now. And I'm heading over to the other window.
That is craziness. That must have been terrifying. Many people think that it was underreported on how many people actually passed away. Officially, it was 74, which is definitely a lot. And that's because hundreds of people went missing that were never found, and they think it could even be in the thousands, especially in the shanty towns like Pigeon Pass and the Mud. And if so, they were likely pulled out to sea from the storm surge. And people had to wade through contaminated waters that was filled with debris, chemicals, sewage, and even corpses, leading to skin infections, respiratory issues, and much more. It took years for the Bahamas to bounce back, and there's probably certain areas that never really did. Like, some of the shanty towns were completely leveled. If you went through this or you know someone that went through it, definitely let me know what your story was like. And if you have another storm you want me to cover, whether it's a hurricane or a tornado or even an earthquake or blizzard, definitely let me know.